can't really be against hydrofracking and say you're an environmentalist because immediately the default options are fuels that are much less clean.
For the next hour, Shawn Wilson explores the energy industry with news and interviews from around the corner and around the globe.
Nuclear is one of the directions that we should innovate in.
The Exploring Energy Show begins now.
And a very, very good, finally, Friday morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Shawn Wilson. It's the Exploring Energy Radio Show. For those of you new listeners, thank you so much. For those of you that are listening all the time, really, really thank you. I appreciate it. No better way to say thank you to our sponsors and to buy their services or their products. Elk City Meals on Wheels, located at 1510 West 9th Street. You can call in your order, 225-5821. Or if you want to find out more, or you know somebody, or you need to get on the program, call them for that information, 225-5821. Regular meals, $8. Senior citizens meals, just $7. Everybody's welcome. They're open 11 to 1 Monday through Friday. Today, on this finally Friday, hamburgers, potato salad, baked beans, fixins, and dessert. That's what's on the menu today. So good old-fashioned hamburgers, potato salad, baked beans, fixins, and dessert. The fixins are what you use to make that burger with. That's what's on the menu at Elk City Meals on Wheels. Tell them we sent you. Throw them a few extra dollars if you can. Carnegie Library, bringing books right to you. Free books delivered right to you. Friends of the Library, Carnegie Caravan, bringing the library right to you. Call them for free books. Or if you're having trouble reading regular print, ask them about their free program that can help. 225-0132. 225-0136, pardon me, 0136, 225-0136. It's Friends of the Carnegie Library. And today is Donut Friday at the Exploring Energy Studio. Yes, Amy Donuts, 301 North Van Buren. Had me a hankering for a apple fritter. All their donuts are great. Their kolaches are excellent. They're open Monday through Sunday, 4:30 a.m. to 2 p.m., and they take in specialty orders. If you want some orders for some donuts, give them a call a day ahead of time, 303-7203, 303-7203. Or if you just need a dozen or two and you want them ready when you get there, do the drive-thru, do that too. 303-7203. It's Amy Donuts. Try their smoothies, their kolaches, their donuts. It is all wonderful. Amy Donuts, the official sponsor of Paragon's Donut Friday. We're Sutty Strong here at the radio station, helping Sutton Hunt, little 3-year-old girl stricken with cancer. Her and her family going through that, need your prayers, need your financial support. They're selling $100 raffle tickets. Winner wins $5,000, second place wins $3,000, and third place wins $2,000 back. If you'd like to be a part of it, you can get a hold of anybody in the Hammond All Sports. Or here's the phone number for Lynn Walker, 580-660-0201. Maybe you just feel the need to donate. They'll do that too. 580-660-0210. Lynn Walker, find out how you can become Sutty Strong, helping out Sutton Hunt. That's what we do here in Western Oklahoma. We get behind each other and we help them. So their prayers, your prayers and your financial support are all appreciated, no doubt. Okay, well, energy stock prices continue on the upward trend. West Texas Intermediate up 3 cents, trading at $61.82 a barrel on the New York Mercantile Exchange December contract. Brent crude oil in the ICE Futures Exchange up 12 cents. That's also a December contract out of London up to $66.11. Tocom crude oil in Japan up 2,050 yen per kiloliter on an October contract. New York Mercantile Exchange natural gas down 3 cents, but trading at $3.32 per million BTU. IBOB gasoline also down 28 cents to $192.41. Heating oil, New York Mercantile Exchange, also November contract there, down $1.70 to $238.60. And gas oil staying static at $707.50 per metric ton for gas oil. So those are your commodity prices. Of course, these new sanctions on Russian oil. So President Trump's move to initiate sanctions on Russian oil in a bid to end the war in Ukraine sent crude oil prices surging 5% yesterday. Meanwhile, natural gas prices fell about nearly the same amount in the day's trading. Oklahoma energy stocks soared in the day's trading, with several firms recording 4, 5, 7, and even one firm with a 9% gain. Crude oil shot up more than $3 a barrel and reached a 2-week high following the announcement of U.S. imposed sanctions on major Russian suppliers Rosneft and Lukoil. At the same time, the move prompted energy firms in China and India to consider also cutting imports from Russia. Brent crude oil futures rose $3.04. West Texas Intermediate rose $3.29. So those were some big gains. The U.S. sanctions mean refineries in China and India, major buyers of Russian oil, will need to seek alternative suppliers to avoid exclusion from the Western banking system, said Saxo Bank analyst Ole Hansen. Natural gas prices again went the opposite direction. But again, several Oklahoma energy stocks did some good. LSB Energies, Helmerich and Payne, Sandridge Energy, Vital Energy. So the only loss was really 6% by Williams Company, but we'll talk more about those later in the last segment. But the sanctions on Russian oils, Rosneft and Lukoil, are what's making these prices are going down. So that's it. But also this story right here. U.S. oil production is booming, so is demand. This story comes out. The U.S. will consume an annual average of 20.59 million barrels of oil a day in 2025, the highest in 18 years. According to current trends, high U.S. per capita oil consumption is driven by several factors, including a rich population living in sprawling suburbia, poor public transportation, the company administration's policies, including support for large gas-guzzling U.S.-made cars and disdain for electric vehicles, will likely boost oil demand and contribute to a potential new record in American petroleum consumption. The story goes on to say that he is slightly embarrassed to admit that on his U.S. roadmap last week, the tank-sized sports utility vehicle provided by the rental company delivered a ludicrously low average fuel economy of 26.4 miles per gallon. That's ludicrously low. Crap, dude. I'm lucky if I get 20. Anyway, that may sound about right to U.S. readers, but in the U.K., I typically achieve 45-plus miles in my little pedal-driven car. Of course, my U.S. friends roll their eyes in the tiny Honda I drive in London. My U.S. ride was a Ford Explorer, better suited to a war zone than the leafy byways of Maine. He also was shocked that the gas station was a timely reminder of an unappreciated companion to the drill baby drill mantra that's transformed U.S. oil demand, and it is also booming. Oil is a hard-to-break addiction, even more so when one is swimming in petroleum. In fact, the U.S. produces more oil than it consumes. The shale revolution provides a political embarrassment of riches, one that via low prices and taxes subsidize rising consumption. But on current trends, the U.S. will consume an average, again, of 20.59 million barrels a day in 2025, highest in 18 years. So drill, baby, drill comes with drive, baby, drive. U.S. oil demand is set to rise in 2025. So it's U.S. Energy Information Administration and Bloomberg opinion. Be easy to blame the pro-fossil fuel Trump administration for the increase, but much of what's happening today took shape during the Brandon years and even earlier during the first Trump administration and the Obama years. It was then that a wave of petrochemical plants was announced, paving the way for today's rising demand for that black gold. What President Donald Trump is doing, however, is fashioning future trends. In the short term, tariffs may hurt economic development a little and thus slow oil consumption growth, but putting aside that one-off impact, his policies will only boost demand. His dislike of electric vehicles would be important, but even more so, his support for large gas-guzzling U.S.-made cars, the kind that this rider drove last week. So today, the downward push looks uncertain. Can U.S. oil demand grow further, setting a new high? Many, including this writer included, think there's a good chance. The most updated forecast from the IEA, looking up only to 2026, already shows a small increase next year. That's good news. That is really good news. I think it's funny that this rider from Britain came over here and, he only got 26. He's used to 45 miles per gallon. Downhill with the clutch in, I guess. I don't know. But nonetheless, what the story does prove is that U.S. oil consumption is continuing to grow, but it hasn't outpaced our production. The shale revolution really made a big difference. Yesterday, Butch Black, a good buddy of mine, came back to the show for a day, and I really appreciated that. And he and I were talking, not so much on air, but off air, about how the natural gas wells around here are really pumping out some good oil totals and some good natural gas totals. There's more and more companies that are going to be tapping into that as the near future draws nigh. Going to take a quick break, continue to pray for some more rain. We'll be back with the next segment right here on 96.5 KECO's Exploring Energy Radio Show.
Stay informed with the latest news from the energy industry on the Exploring Energy Show.
You know why people like going out to eat? It's a little treat for them. They get to leave the house and go somewhere else and have somebody else cook the food and serve it to them and clean up afterward. All you got to do is pay and leave.
I know a lady that makes it at Janice's Cafe. We go out there and eat all the time. You know why? It's not at home, and it's better than what we cook. You know, one of my favorite things to eat at Janice's Cafe? Catfish. It's good. It's got the crispy breading. Oh, it's like they made it with love, with a little bit more love on top of it.
Bacon cheeseburger. Best
Bacon cheeseburger in the business. Name another one.
Mushroom and Swiss.
Best mushroom burger there is ever. Janice's Cafe can make all those burgers for. Of course, they got burgers. They got the best burgers you can have.
Do you think more people drink sweet tea or unsweet tea?
Well, you know what I am.
Half and half.
Half sweet, half unsweet. Janice is located on the south side of Elk City, where you go into the movie theater, right there next to Arby's. You'll be able to find it because there's a big old sign up there that says Janice's Cafe.
Luck is in the air this November at Lucky Star Casino. Saturdays are stacked with autumn riches. We're giving away over $200,000 in cash. The cash is falling only at Lucky Star Casino. Come and get your luck at Lucky Star Casino.
Come and get your luck. Ooh, yeah. Come and get your luck.
You don't want to let your cotton set in the field day after day waiting to be gin. Now, to better serve you, the cotton farmers in Oklahoma and the Texas Panhandle, Lone Star Gin has processed over 540,000 bales of cotton. They've got locations in Pampa, Texas, and now in Burns Flat, Oklahoma. Lone Star Gin has the ability to process over 2,400 bales per day. All they do is gin cotton. Go to LoneStarGin.com for more information, and you can find them on Facebook.
Craving a real steak? Fred's Steakhouse in Elk City is firing up flavors 7 days a week. The grill is always hot, and the steaks are always fresh. From juicy char-grilled ribeyes, fillets, and sirloins, to chicken fried steak, hearty burgers, seafood, and chicken, there's something for everyone. Don't forget the appetizers, salads, and desserts to top it off. Bring your appetite. We'll handle the rest. Dine in or order online now on the DoorDash app. It's more than just a steakhouse. It's Fred's.
Restaurants and feedlots, coffee shops and cafes, grocery stores, and convenience stores. The Penny News is there, waiting for you to take it home.
Stay informed with the latest news from the energy industry on the Exploring Energy Show.
Camrock Supply reminds you that after a busy spring and summer, when you're ready to put that equipment up, before you do it, do the maintenance so it'll work like you need it next spring. Tractors, your lawnmowers, whatever the case may be, do that preventative maintenance now. Get it ready for winter. Then next spring, the thing will fire right off. Get everything you need for a tractor, motor, maintenance at Camrock Supply, next to Fred's Steakhouse in Elk City. Online, Camrock Supply, CAMRockSupply.com. That's Camrock Supply right here in Elk City. David Allen Guest, if you have minerals and royalties, you need help, this is your guy. David's been doing it for himself and others for nearly 40 years. He understands it. Even though it's complicated, it's always changing. He stays on top of it. That's what enables him to get you the most out of your royalties and the most out of your experience with working with David. He's a man of integrity, a guy that's you're going to be glad you're doing business with. He's not pushy, very amiable, very knowledgeable. He listens, and then when he talks, he means it. He means something every time. And if you find yourself in that vulnerable situation where you need to sell, you don't want to be taken advantage of, David's a buyer of royalties from estates, probates, trusts, and bankruptcies. Walk you right through that, give you a fair shake. Go with someone you can trust. David Allen Guest, 405-341-8698. That number again, 405-341-8698, or look him up on the interweb. And what if before you needed them, you called American Hose and Supply? What if you had those hoses on hand, and when your hoses failed, you just quickly replaced them? How much easier would that be? How much easier would that get you up and going again, quicker? Time is money, folks. We all know it. American Hose and Supply inside the Camrock building, they know it. They want to help you, whether it's reactive or proactive. Right next to Fred's Steakhouse in Elk City, they'll get you up and going. Call 303-1123. They custom make hoses. The ends you need, the lengths, the pressure ratings, doesn't make any difference. They've got it. Go to those who know hose. Call 303-1123. 303-1123. American Hose and Supply. Okay, getting right back to it here on this Finally Friday. Another data center update. All right. The latest, Meta has struck a $27 billion financing deal with Blue Owl Capital to fund its big data center project globally as large technology companies race to build out the infrastructure needed to power their AI, their artificial intelligence ambitions. They proved to be the Meta's largest ever private capital deal. Under the deal, Meta would help keep about 20% equity in the Louisiana project, while Blue Owl Capital, the alternative asset manager, would manage the majority. Blue Owl kicked in nearly $7 billion cash for the joint venture, and Meta made a one-time payout of nearly $3 billion. Billion here, billion there. I mean, it adds up. The data center will be located in Richland Parish, Louisiana, and be called Hyperion. Hyperion. It will deliver more than 2 gigawatts of compute capacity. Just as data center growth in Oklahoma is being challenged and questioned by residents and ratepayers in some proposed sites, reservations and opposition are also observed in other states. There's some happening elsewhere. A planned 166-megawatt Texas data center complex will draw power directly from a stranded wind farm in an area where there aren't enough transmission lines to deliver the power to the grid. Leaders in Michigan's 2 largest investor-owned utilities anticipate a potentially large spike in electricity demand from data centers that consumer advocates worry will lead to higher costs for ratepayers. Advocates accuse Northwestern Energy of violating Montana law by moving forward on data center power supply agreements there without regulators' approval, and call on the utility to create a separate rate case for the facilities to protect other ratepayers. And Southern Arizona residents continue to protest the proposed Project Blue data center near Tucson, saying it would also use too much water and power. There's another place that water is sparse. A new AP NORC poll finds about 4 in 10 U.S. adults say they're extremely or very concerned about AI's environmental impacts, more than the percentage worried about the impacts of cryptocurrency, meat production, or air travel. Kind of give you an update there on the data center deal. Not everybody wants them. Not everybody wants them. Yesterday I did a story about Lyon County and Cotton County there in Kansas fighting over a nuclear power plant and the placement of it there in Kansas. It's coming, folks. I mean, you've got to look at the future, look at the demand, and still I have not been able to get a straight answer. And if somebody out there really knows it and would like to come on the show and talk about it, I would love to have them as a guest. And that is, why in the world would existing customers have to pay for somebody who's going to be using a lot more electricity? Like I said, when I got the electricity turned on at my house, when that meter rolls, I pay that bill. I pay that bill, not my neighbor, not the neighbor down the street. I pay that bill. So why in the world would I or the neighbors down the street have to pay to get electricity to a place that's going to be using a ton of electricity? I just don't understand it. I guess maybe they're possibly they're saying, hey, if you don't pay, if we don't raise your rates, then they're going to suck all the electricity and there's not going to be none left for you. Maybe that's what they're saying. I'm not sure, but I just keep scratching my head about this. If I build something that is going to use a lot of electricity, I should be willing to pay for that electrical use, not somebody else. I don't know. I guess it's shifting the burden of the transmission lines, the extra substations and all those kind of things that have to be put in for that. Well, guess what? If that person wants electricity that bad, they'll either figure out how to produce it or they'll pay the utility companies to drop a line in there and then pay for the electricity they use. Is it that hard? Am I that overboard with this line of thinking? It's just a head scratcher. I'm not against data centers. Now, the water issue, I'm definitely keeping a track on that because, for crying out loud, they use a lot of water. There are a lot of different methods on how to reuse that water, just like they do at nuclear power plants. It never touches the reactors. It goes through, they pull it off the bottom cold, they push it back on top warm, and they just continue that cycle. And there is some, like we talked about yesterday, is lost to evaporation, but it's not just out of one pipe and never back in the other. So it's, I don't know. I'm just still scratching my head. So, like I said, if you know somebody out there that knows that real answer, let me know. Call me here at the station, and I'll get them scheduled, get on the show, and we'll all find out together. But it's just kind of silly that somebody else would have to pay for an outfit because they choose to do something that requires a whole lot of energy. Pay for it. I'm good with that. I mean, that's business, right? You take all your costs, put it into what you're getting for your project, your product, or your services, and then you make money. Anyway, all right, there's enough of my soapbox on that deal. But it's just one of those deals that, we're all praying for rain. I said it earlier in the show, and rain should bring an end to dry conditions in Oklahoma. Promised rains, of course, it's like promises, I mean, there are some that come and some that don't, but the upcoming rains promise a change in the U.S. drought monitor map as the end of October nears for Oklahoma. No regions in the state fall into the exceptional drought category, nor were any listed in the extreme drought, with the exception of the Northwest and Panhandle. Most of the state remains categorized under severe drought, moderate drought, or abnormally dry. Forecasted rains has stirred the anticipation among weather watchers, especially since the usual dry zones in west and northwest Oklahoma have been growing drier. The predicted moisture could mark the beginning of a relief for those parched areas. So we need to continue to pray for rain. Promised rain isn't the same as rain coming down, I can tell you that. And also, what to watch. I mean, the colder weathers are coming up. The colder weather's coming our way. They've already had one frost, one freeze, slight freeze, or a frost in the Panhandle. And the way I understand it from the upcoming temperatures, they're going to start getting colder and colder in the evening. So, with that in mind, we just need to be cognizant of the fact that we need the rain. We need the rain terribly. A lot of games got changed. Elk City took one on the chin last night to Weatherford over there in Big Elk football. Merritt travels up to Hooker tonight. And that pregame about 6:30. That kickoff time at 7 o'clock with Blake Brewer and Travis Stout. So if you want to watch that and not drive all the way to Hooker, you can do it. That's ParagonTV.com, brought to you by the Bank of Western Oklahoma. Small schools basketball, whew, man, they're already starting to hoop it up. Now, they haven't started their official season yet, but we're only about a couple of weeks from small schools starting to pound that pumpkin for real. And we've got a new addition to Paragon TV sports family. Sentinel Bulldogs have joined the Paragon TV sports family. So that is a wonderful thing. So now we have 9 total schools, including Elk City, but 8 on the Paragon TV side that use our broadcasters, our equipment, and our website to, well, do their games. Some schools have tried others, and they realize that it's not quite the same. So we welcome the Sentinel Bulldogs. We welcome all our viewers. Now you're going to find out more and more, but you have to pay a $9.99 a month fee to get Paragon TV, okay? But you get to watch all the archive games, every school within the network, every live game. Figure out what it costs you to travel to some of those games, and you can see that it is just a drop in the bucket. But we appreciate our great sponsors, and we appreciate the Bank of Western Oklahoma for allowing us to do that. That extra money goes to our broadcasters. These people, most of them are spending their own money getting back and forth to these games, and it's not easy. And they spend a lot of their own time, so it's time for us to start helping them out, getting better equipment, continuing to navigate through the technical age and advancements. So with that being said, Merritt Sports tonight on ParagonTV.com against Hooker. I'm going to take a break at the bottom of the hour, and we'll be back with more of the Finally Friday edition of the Exploring Energy Radio Show after this.
The Exploring Energy Show.
Hi, I'm Gary Owens, the owner of Galleria Furniture. Right now, check out the Kennedy Chocolate Sofa, complete with 2 accent pillars for only $4.99. Or upgrade the reversible sofa for just $6.99. Need more room? The Kennedy Chocolate Sectional is only $10.99. And remember, we'll beat any competitor's price or it's yours for free.
Located in Elk City next to Tractor Supply, where friends don't let friends pay retail.
Hi, it's Andy Taylor. We're living in some very turbulent times. It's easy to get discouraged in the normal course of life, but the good news is God has all the answers. His presence and companionship always makes all the difference. A big part of what we do at Trinity Fellowship is to help people in the process of coming into relationship with the Father. We'd love to help you. Our services start at 10 a.m. on Sunday. You can find us on our Trinity Fellowship Facebook page, or you can listen right here on KECO at 9:30. We'd love to have you be part of our family.
One of the computers here at the station was crashing, about to lose everything on it, and we didn't even know it. But Dennis knew because he was watching, and he warned us in time.
Hey Gabe, it's Dennis. Our system detected that one of your computers has a hard drive that's about to fail.
Which one?
It's Nathan's.
So what do I need to do?
Well, we probably need to get it in the shop and get the drive cloned to a new machine before he loses any data off of it.
Do you have another computer in stock that we can just get it fixed real quick?
Sure, we've got some in stock. Just need to get it in, get it cloned over, and it'll be good to go.
Okay, thanks a lot, Dennis.
You bet, sounds good. See you.
ITL monitors our computers at Paragon Communications remotely, so Dennis Teal knows there's a problem before we even know it. He helped us save years' worth of valuable files. ITL's remote monitoring comes in very handy here at work. That kind of security system for your computers can keep your business running so you can keep making a living.
So if your farmer need a hose built, you can come in, we'll build it. Oilfield customer and need us to come out and see you, we'll come out and see you and take an order or pick up a hose, build it, bring it back to you. Solves that problem. I'm Brock Kalk, and my company is American Hose and Supply. We sell all types of industrial hose and fittings, oilfield or agriculture. You needed a hose like yesterday. We will stop what we're doing, and if we got to go to our Oklahoma City shop and get it, we'll do that. And I've done that for a lot of my customers. The business I've done with Oilfield, they got to see your face. Whether it's weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, whatever the customer prefers, that's what we're going to do. We sell all types of industrial hose and fittings. In the oilfield, sometimes you get a call for a crazy, hey, can you get this? And you go find it for them. American Hose and Supply. Come by and see us at 2111 South Main, Elk City, Oklahoma, in Camrock Building next to Fred's.
Or call 303-1123.
Solves that problem.
Can I ask you a basic, somewhat obvious question? Energy, agriculture, gas, oil, beef. Is it possible to talk about one without talking about the other?
Not standing over a gas-operated flat top, I suppose, next to a bunch of gas-operated fryers.
Gas, and more gas. I live in California. Yeah. Maybe you've read. Somebody somewhere has waged a war on gas stoves.
I've heard that. I've heard that.
Thoughts?
In a nutshell, I prefer to cook on gas stove.
There it is. Official.
See their stories at oerb.com/micro.
For over 100 years, Farm Credit of Oklahoma has proudly served our area's farmers and ranchers. So when it comes to ag lending, don't fret it. Call Farm Credit. You'll never regret it.
This is the Exploring Energy Show.
The show brought to you in part by Fred's Steakhouse, famous for the $4.99 chicken fried steak. They're also your destination for fresh USDA graded beef, ribeyes, New York strips, filet mignon, sirloins, hand-cut daily by the in-house butcher. Guess what? They've also got an in-house bakery. They bake those freshly baked rolls. Whew. They got the soup de jour, the soup of the day. Again, 7 kinds of chicken. 7 kinds of chicken. Hard to beat Yardbird, in my opinion. Maybe seafood's what you crave. They got that. They've got freshwater catfish, fish tacos. Appetizers sure to please everyone. Wood chips, fried pickles, cheese curds, mushrooms, Rocky Mountain oysters, just to name a few. And cap off your dining experience with fresh in-house made desserts. And they also have a full-service bar. Your favorite cocktails, specialty drinks, wines, and ice-cold beer. Fred's Steakhouse can host your private event located at 2107 South Main Street in Elk City. Call 580-243-2100. 243-2100 or order online on the Chow Now app. Open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. That's Fred's Steakhouse. DCP Services, a local company, diversified, offering the right services with the right people on the job. They've got lease operators division. They've got their roustabout division, their wireline division with both braided and slick line capabilities, and their DCP pump repair shop in Cordell. If you'd like to find out more about DCP Services, call Jeff Davis. 580-660-0501, 660-0501. You can also find DCP Services on the Book of Faces. And ASCO Equipment, one of 27 locations right here in Elk City, 27 locations throughout Oklahoma, Texas, New Mexico. If you're looking for heavy equipment for sale or rent, or trade your equipment in for a newer or brand new model, this is your outfit. Their new and pre-owned construction equipment fits your needs and your budget. ASCO is a leading provider for the Oklahoma construction, ag, and energy sectors, proudly serving this area with construction equipment like tractors, backhoes, wheel loaders, cranes, dozers, excavators, forklifts, compactors, pavers, skid steers, and more. They want to be a partner in your project. They also will not sell you a piece of equipment that has not been completely gone through. And if you got a piece of equipment that needs to be having a gone through, you can call them. They got 140 field service trucks, 200 factory-trained certified technicians. They may send a truck out there, put your equipment on it, take it into the shop, whatever it needs. They got $21 million worth of stock. Talking about equipment, parts on hand. That's ASCO Equipment. They'll work on your equipment no matter when you bought it, who you bought it from, or what brand it is. ASCO Equipment, online, ASCOEQ.com. For rentals, get a hold of E.J. Gredeman, or for equipment sales, ask for Bart Shields, Jeremy Bridgman. He'll send you in the right direction. You can call him at 323-3422. Online, ASCOEQ.com. Okay, I talked a while ago about data centers, and their water consumption. Well, there was a meeting this week. Oklahoma lawmaker links water use to cedar threat. The hearing on water use turns to red cedar crisis. Be a leader, destroy a cedar. When a state house committee met this week to discuss water demands for data centers in Oklahoma, the focus shifted quickly. Lawmakers linked the water needs of large data centers to another urgent issue that has caused deaths, fires, and widespread property loss across the state. The discussion led Representative Mike Dobrinsky, Republican O'Keene, to criticize Governor Kevin Stitt and legislative leaders for ignoring what he describes as an escalating danger, the red cedar invasion. Boy, out here, you can see it. I guarantee it. Dobrinsky asked the agency's representative about the role of red cedars in draining the state's water supply. We addressed a couple of years ago a trial study on the North Canadian watershed for trying to eliminate the invasive red cedar there because of their threat to the water supply in northwest Oklahoma, he said. The assistant majority whip warned that red cedars endanger both public safety and Oklahoma's natural resources. In my opinion, the red cedar presents a far greater threat to central and northeast Oklahoma, being a public safety hazard than our friends from Stillwater had experienced with that back in March. According to Dobrinsky, he continued criticizing state inaction. Our chief executive in the state and some of our leadership in this building have yet to acknowledge that the threat to the level of which some of us feel it demands. Dobrinsky's concern is backed by data. Oklahoma State University researchers estimate the state loses 300,000 acres each year to red cedar spread. These trees take over our native prairie habitat, fuel devastating wildfires, and absorb billions of gallons of water annually. The Oklahoma Conservation Commission has created the Invasive Woody Species Cost Share Program, allowing landowners to receive up to $50,000 for large-scale cedar removal. In 2013, a study by the Oklahoma Conservation Commission cited alarming data from the Natural Resources Conservation Services. Oklahoma has 17 million acres of prairie, shrubland, cross timbers, forest, and other forests. The NRCS estimates there are 8 million acres of these 17 million that are infested with at least 50 red cedars per acre. That is a 400% increase in infested acres in the past 50 years. The NRCS also estimates that red cedar trees are now increasing in number at a rate of 762 acres a day. Like we said earlier in the story, 300,000 acres each year. By 2013, the NRCS predicted that 12.6 million acres will be infested by cedar with at least 50 trees per acre. Of those 8 million acres with at least 250 trees per acre. Red cedars were brought in back in the Dust Bowl days for erosion control. They put them in shelter belts. They're not native to Oklahoma, the red cedar. They were imported, and they are water suckers. You'd be surprised at how many gallons of water one of those red cedars suck out of the earth daily. And we can all go by pastures and see them. I mean, they are everywhere. Everywhere. Okay, another thing that was happening in the state Senate committee to explore waste heat industry. So Oklahoma's ice capturing this manufacturing waste heat. Oklahoma lawmakers are shifting the energy spotlight toward an often overlooked resource, wasted heat from manufacturing. The move aims to turn byproduct into opportunities for the state's energy future. Thursday, October the 30th, 9 a.m., the Oklahoma Senate Energy Committee will convene in Senate Room 230 of the state capitol for an interim study entitled Low-Grade Waste Heat and Additive Manufacturing in Oklahoma. The study comes at the request of Casey Murdoch, and it marks a deeper dive into how Oklahomans can attract the waste heat industry. The hearing will feature at least 3 industry experts. Senator Murdoch previously filed House Bill 2402, dubbed the Oklahoma Advanced Manufacturing Incentive Act of 2025. The bill proposed a corporate income tax incentive and a direct grant program to lure companies that deploy low-grade waste heat electrification technologies to Oklahoma. Under the proposal, the Oklahoma Department of Commerce would administer up to $20 million over 5 years in grants. Okay, maybe you're asking, what is waste heat? How does it work? Well, waste heat recovery, the process of capturing and reusing excess heat that is lost from industrial and building processes, such as from hot exhaust gases, cooling water, or flume gases. This recovered energy can be used for other purposes like heating, generating electricity, or running absorption chillers, which boost energy efficiency, reduces costs, and lowers emissions. The primary technology for this is a heat exchanger, which transfers heat from one fluid like hot exhaust to another like water or air. Waste heat is captured from the source, like again, the exhaust gases, uses a heat exchanger. The heat exchanger transforms this thermal energy into a transfer fluid like water or air. The heated fluid is then used in other applications such as preheating air for combustion, heating water for processes or buildings, driving turbines to generate electricity using heat recovery steam generators. This isn't something brand new, but there's not a lot of states or a lot of places that are taking advantage of it. Okay, and I mean, there is some upfront cost, but the benefits are increased energy efficiency. Reusing energy reduces the need for primary energy sources. Reduced operating costs, lower energy consumption directly leads to cost savings, lower emissions by reducing fuel consumption. Waste heat recovery helps lower greenhouse gas emissions, and improve sustainability. It's a key strategy for decarbonization and the pillar of future sustainable energy systems. So the Oklahoma legislature, the Senate, is looking at this, and it would be a new industry. I mean, there are companies that specialize in this, that they know how to come in and capture that heat, have the right heat exchangers, because it's not a one-size-fits-all. Every industrial outfit puts off a little different kind of exhaust or a little different kind of byproduct. So at least they're looking at it, and waste not, want not. Well, my grandma always used to tell me. Of course, they were in the Depression area, and I promise you, if you went through their stuff after they passed away, you could certainly tell they never threw anything away. You never know when you might need it. We're going to take a quick break. Be back with the mop-up segment. My lovely assistant is here to give you the weather forecast, energy stock prices. I'll have energy news in my briefs and more as we continue with the Friday edition of the Exploring Energy Radio Show in a moment.
The Exploring Energy Show.
Need to dig it? Then it's time to rent it. But call 811 first and then head on over to DJ's Rentals and Sales and let their knowledgeable staff help you get it started. Whether it's a backhoe, a post hole digger, a mini excavator, or a skid steer that you need to help make that job a little easier. You can find them all and more at DJ's Rentals and Sales, 911 South Main Street in Elk City. Text them on the text line at 580-799-7214. Find and follow them on Facebook. And don't forget to call 811 first.
Looking for the perfect venue for your next event? Look no further than the Frisco Center, located in the heart of western Oklahoma. Whether it's a stunning wedding, a joyful reception, a memorable birthday party, or a professional seminar, we've got you covered. With spacious rooms and exceptional service, Frisco Center is designed to make your special occasion unforgettable. Located at 101 South 4th Street in Clinton, Oklahoma. Call us today at 580-323-7874 to book your date. The Frisco Center, where every event is a reason to celebrate.
Hi, I'm Gary Owens, the owner of Galleria Furniture. Shop Motion by Galleria, our exclusive brand we designed and produced just for you. Take the carrier sofa with pop-out cup holders and drop-down table built right in. Our Hudson Group, top grain leather, power recliners, and even an Apple charging tray. And remember, we'll beat any competitor's price or each yours for free.
Located in Elk City next to Tractor Supply, where friends don't let friends pay retail.
Hey folks, this is EJ Grediman with ASCO Equipment out of Elk City, Oklahoma. If you need rental equipment, I got your back. From excavators to wheel loaders, telehandlers, and forklifts, we rent the brands that you know and trust. With flexible terms, responsible service, and expert support, we're here to keep your job on track. Need equipment? We're on it here at ASCO Equipment. Visit ASCOEQ.com or stop by our Elk City branch, 513 West 20th here in Elk City, Oklahoma, or you can just give me a call, 580-243-9233. Appreciate it, folks, and y'all have a blessed day.
So there's a company out there that has a certain color. All the farmers and stuff think their oil has to be used in those certain color of tractors, and it's just not true. So here at Camrock, we have the same specification oil as the other brand, where people think that they have to use that for a certain color on their tractors and stuff like that. But we have the same oil specifications as they do. Works just as well, does the same thing, lubes it just the same. Price comparison is, it's not even a comparison. We have a better price than anybody around on that type of oil. I use it at our place. My son uses it for our colored tractors that we have, and a lot of other farmers use it too. It's the same oil, specifications are the same. It's kind of a myth where they think that it's got to be that certain type of oil for that color of tractor. Camrock is the name of the company. It's 2111 South Main, Elk City, south of Fred's Steakhouse. We have a better price than anybody around on that type of oil.
If your computer won't go, call an ITL Pro. Innovative technology, 243-1559. Online at itlpros.com.
Stay informed with the latest news from the energy industry on the Exploring Energy Show.
Woo! Okay. Here we go. We're going to do this, and I'm going to put this lovely lady's picture up on the Book of Faces on our live feed and get right to it here. This show brought to you in part by Sustaining Oklahoma's Energy Resources, part of the OERB. They've just got through having their SPCC training yesterday. Next one coming up it's a big one. Preventing direct lightning strikes. That's going to be October the 28th, 11 a.m. It's also a free Zoom meeting. Lightning, one of nature's most powerful, unpredictable forces, capable of causing catastrophic damage to people, facilities, and critical infrastructure. This we'll talk about. This presentation explores both traditional protection methods and advanced scientific alternatives with a focus on the dissipation array system. Dissipation Array System, a DAS, as a proven approach to reducing lightning-related hazards. So that's coming up October the 28th. After that, November 6th, facility design. It's an in-person or a Zoom meeting. It's all brought to you by Sustaining Oklahoma's Energy Resources, part of the OERB. Get yourself registered before end of business October 27th to attend this Preventing Lightning Strikes class. And again, it's a Zoom meeting, so you can do it from the comfort of wherever your computer is. Go to www.soer.oerb.com. SOER, SOER.oerb.com. Continuing to educate our industry for the future. If your power goes out at midnight, mine went out about 2 o'clock last night. Over in my side of town, we were out of power for 4 hours. Thank God I had me that rag generator. Woo! But you can call Carter Electric. They provide 24-hour emergency electrical service 7 days a week on your side of the meter. And like I said, you want to make sure the power stays on regardless. Well, Carter Electric is an authorized Generac generator dealer. They can size the generator for you or your business, your home, your business. They can sell it to you. They can install it correctly, and they can come back and service it. Do you know Kervin and Mary Orgain? They're the owners. They're the ones who help you see the light of day even at night. They own Carter Electric. And a lot of electric work goes on overhead. Carter Electric has pole trucks, man lifts to get way up high if there's a problem up there. Licensed, insured, trusted. It's Carter Electric, 225-2447, 225-2447. Call them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for electrical service. And they are this hour's weather forecast sponsor. So this weather forecast brought you service of Carter Electric. Thanks, Kervin and Mary. What do you got over there, TJ?
Today we have an 80% chance of showers and thunderstorms. And then we have a high near 71 with, oh my goodness, south wind around 14 miles per hour with gusts as high as 21. I'm losing my spot here. Okay, tonight, showers possible with a low around 55 southeast wind, 6 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, a 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy with a high near 68, north wind 6 to 8 miles per hour. Sunday, mostly sunny with a high near 70, north wind 5 to 8 miles per hour, becoming southeast in the afternoon. Monday, mostly sunny with a high near 70. Tuesday, mostly sunny with a high near 64. Wednesday, sunny with a high near 59. And Thursday, sunny with a high near 63. Not my weather.
Not your weather. I'm a fat kid. I like the cooler weather. Like I said,
I'll be bundled.
I like to walk out and see my breath in the morning.
No.
That is the coolest thing. Anyway, here's some energy news in my briefs. Talked about it earlier. If you've just joined us, the Meta $27 billion deal in the EPA suit plus the DOG grant cut. Well, Meta Platforms has secured that $27 billion finance agreement with Blue Owl Capital to fund that largest ever data center project globally. Large tech firms race to build infrastructure to power artificial intelligence ambitions. An advocacy organization has filed a lawsuit accusing the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency of unlawful delays in addressing 130-plus California Clean Air Act cleanup submittals, some dating back to 2018. Nevada, Democrats call for wind-solar policy reversal. Nevada congressional Democrats are urging Doug Burgum, the Interior Secretary, to rescind a policy that subjects federal land, wind, and solar projects to extra scrutiny. They say the policy is delaying proposed projects in the state. Pacific Corp has agreed to a $125 million settlement with dozens of Oregon wineries and vineyards. The settlement resolves smoke damage claims tied to the 2020 Labor Day wildfires allegedly sparked by the utilities equipment. The U.S. Department of Energy, the DOE, has canceled $57.7 million federal grant for American Battery Technologies' proposed lithium mine and refinery in Nevada. The company says it will move forward with the project regardless. The DOE's independent statistical arm projects that residential electricity costs will average 4.8% higher this winter than during the 2024-2025 cold season. A recent study by the Electric Power Research Institute found that last year the average U.S. household paid about $1,850 for electricity and $2,930 for gasoline over the course of the year. New satellite imagery shows damage and defensive measures at Russian oil refineries. At one site, anti-drone netting is visible. At another, black smoke rises from a damaged facility. Russia's energy sector remains a critical revenue source, fueling its war against Ukraine. In Europe, the European Union's 27 leaders met this week to chart climate and industrial policy ahead of the United Nations COP30. Pressures build to set a 10-year emissions reduction target. I bet they do. Oh, now, the energy stock prices, are they reflective of what happened with the energy commodity prices that are on the green? Are you going to give us some good news for this Friday?
We do have more green than red.
Well, that's better news than not. What do you got over there, girl?
American Electric Power is up 46 cents, trading at $116.65. Apache is down 7 cents, trading at $24.55. Baker Hughes is down 45 cents at $48.44. ConocoPhillips is down 24 cents at $89.84. Devon Energy is up 4.5 cents at $33.45. EOG Resources is down 40 cents at $107.66. Expand Energy is up 16 cents at $104.62. General Electric is up $2.65 at $309.05. Halliburton is down 22 cents at $27.01. Helmerich & Payne is up 7 cents at $25.75. Liberty Energy is up 55 cents at $16.78. Occidental Petroleum is up 4.5 cents at $42.93. OG&E Energy is up 14 cents at $46.32. ONEOK is up 18 cents at $69.95. Phillips 66 is up 51 cents at $136.34. Sandridge Energy is down 3.5 cents at $11.91. Schlumberger is up 36 cents at $36.38. And Williams Companies is up 6.5 cents at $58.99.
Got a little bit of time here. Williams Company expands their Louisiana LNG Haynesville operations. Tulsa-based Williams Company is expanding its wellhead to water strategy with two major Louisiana transactions that showcase Oklahoma's growing impact on the global energy industry. Williams announced that strategic partnership with Woodside Energy, Australia's largest independent oil and gas company, to invest in the Louisiana LNG project. The fully permitted export facility is located along the Caloosahatchee Ship Channel and represents a key step in the expansion of U.S. liquefied natural gas exports. Under the deal, Williams will acquire 80% ownership and become operator of Driftwood Pipeline, which includes construction of a Line 200, a greenfield pipeline connecting Louisiana LNG plant to Transco and Louisiana Energy Gateway systems. I've often said the one thing that sets the United States apart from a lot of countries is our infrastructure to be able to get that hydrocarbon out of the ground into a pipeline or onto a train or onto a truck and get it to where it needs to go. Yeah. LNG, of course, pipelines are still the safest way to transport natural gas, safest and most efficient way. And so more pipelines are going in. You're seeing a lot of ownership changes, but the thing that's not going to change is that's the demand for natural gas, liquefied natural gas specifically. Yeah. But it's now we got to make sure these other countries are building enough, regasification plants to where when we get the floating thermoses, as Butch used to call them, across the Big Muddy with all that liquefied natural gas, and it goes into a facility that can warm it up, regasify it, get it in a pipeline, and get it somewhere where it's goes to be used. Right now, those countries like the ones down in Asia, those aren't so much for the general population. They're trying to get that natural gas to manufacturing facilities, and those
create more jobs.
Yeah, and electricity generation facilities, and not like we are here, where we're very fortunate to be able to see a gas meter in the alleys, be able to tag into that natural gas use for our homes. I'm a natural gas guy, no doubt about it. But anyway, with that being said, be back Monday with another edition of the Exploring Energy Radio Show. And I appreciate Tony for coming in here today for sure. Monday we're slated to have Dewey F. Bartlett Jr. Looking always forward to that visit.
And tonight, Merit football.
Yeah, Merit football tonight on ParagonTV.com. Thanks to the Bank of Western Oklahoma, 6:30 pregame, 7 o'clock off against Hooker. For all of our great sponsors, and for TJ, I'm Shawn Wilson. Thanks for listening. I promise we'll talk again. Have yourself a great day. Come on, Rain.
#1 for New Country.
KECO, Elk City.
Fox News, I'm Therese Crowley. President Trump posting Canada cheated and got caught, cutting off all trade with Canada, charging